Hi there, Tualatin LEGO fans and library lovers. It's me, Blair Archer, welcoming you back into the BRIX LEGO studio for another exciting element exploration. Today, let's dive right in because we've got a lot of ground to cover in this week's episode of our winter series. A lot of ground to cover with snow, that is. Join me at the building desk and let's take a look at all the awesome different kinds of elements you can use to express wintertime in your LEGO world. Welcome to the building desk. I've invited a little friend along to help us bring some winter down from the mountains. Hello! Yeti's in town visiting his cousin Sasquatch and decided to lend us a hand. Since we haven't seen any winter weather down here, they brought a little snow down from the tippy tops of the mountains for us. Thanks, Yeti. No problem. Because of course, if we're going to winterize our LEGO Wonderland, we need some snow to start off with. Let's put some of this to work in our backdrop first. Okay, thanks for the assist. Now that looks a little bit more snowy, doesn't it? Let's take a look at some awesome elements that you can use to express snow in your plastic paradise. Since obviously, when we're going to be working with snow, we want some snowflakes, there are a few different elements that you can use to create some awesome snowflakes. This plate with bars all around it makes a pretty cool base for building a snowflake. If you're a fan of certain Spider-Man sets, these new web elements can make really cool decorative snowflake choices. In fact, because they have a bar on the back, you can plug them in to any of your parts with open holes, and you can use them as snowflakes falling from the sky. Even these web elements, if you have enough of them, could be used to create an awesome snowflake pattern. If you want to go bigger with your snowflake, if you have any of the white leaf elements, these can be used in repeating shapes to create a snowflake. If you layer them one over the other, constantly switching back and forth, you can pick how many sides you want your snowflake to have. And create a really cool geometric shape. You can use any leaf elements to accomplish this same technique. And once you have them layered together, you can use smaller ones to create detail shaping and bring a sense of realism and delicate detail to your falling, frozen water droplets. Every snowflake is unique, so remember, you can use any kinds of tricks that you can come up with in order to create your design. For the backdrop, you can see that we use these 1x1 flowers, which have this nice petal design, which kind of looks like a snowflake. If you have lots of them, you can sprinkle them around to show that snow is just lightly falling on the ground. Thankfully as well, this year, LEGO granted us winter fans something really special. Full-size base plates in white. Let's swap one in for when we get to our winter exploration. Much better, don't you think? Oh yeah, I was getting a little toasty. Let's check out some cool techniques to bring snow into your Lego builds. Now that we've got the proper environment, that is, and our stuff won't melt. Once you've set the scene with your snowflakes and your snowfall, the next thing to do is to add detail to your buildings and the rest of your Lego city. One of my favorite elements for snow is the ice cream scoop piece. If you have a few of these, you can do some really cool stuff with them. Firstly, they look like a pile of snowballs ready to get tossed. We'll give a couple to our Yeti here, just in case he's in the snow throwing mood. Another thing to know about these is that they can do a really cool technique and act like an improvised ball joint assembly. If you take the top scoop and you stick it in the bottom, you can get a light connection. Very, very slightly posable as well. This has been used to great effect by many builders for smoke rising from chimneys or from steampunk creations, or even a spray of foam coming out of something like a fire extinguisher. It's a really cool and unusual connection that you can employ in your builds. Another fun piece you might have noticed is this Unikitty base from the Unikitty minifig series. These little cloud bases are an unusual piece because of the way that they align with the bottom plates. They can't be used as easily as a rectangular plate, but they can make great clouds and excellent piles of snow. We'll return to these very shortly. Let's take a look at some of the shapes that you can use to add snow to the rooftops of your Lego buildings. As you can see, there are lots of different techniques that you can use to give snow or icicle effects to your rooftops and roof lines. One thing to really look out for when you're seeking elements for your snow effects is to find pieces that, similar to when we built the snowman, are rounded, smooth, and can really give that appearance of snow piled up against or on top of different things. Here we've used an assortment of different elements in order to show that this roof line is very frosty and covered in snow. Starting with the edge, you can see that we've used this sloped element hanging over the corner of the roof to show that the snow is slumping off over the edge. When you use one of these elements, it has an open spot in the bottom. If you have a Technic half pin, you can insert it in there and you can actually build things hanging off the edge. Similar to over here, this would be a great place where you could use something like this antenna and make an icicle effect. Next we have some plates here, and we're just using some of these cheese slopes on top to smooth out the transition there. You can see that as you move through, you want to keep this sort of organic flow of snow as it has blown in the wind and piled up in different ways across the roofline. Under here, we've used the same Technic half pin trick to hang these teeth elements from the bottom of the roofline. These are the 1x2 teeth elements, so now we've hung them upside down to match our 1x1 overhang teeth elements and these 1x2 claw elements, which we've mounted on this bracket, which is hanging over the edge of the roof as well. For your flat plate elements that you want to attach to the side of your roof line, using one of these brackets is the best way to show that the snow and ice is hanging right over the edge. Again, using a brick here, one of these headlight bricks, we can really smooth out some of these transitions, putting this cheese wedge on here sideways and showing that all of these different elements are working together to create a winter scene. When you have open space, you can use tiles or clips to create more vertical hanging elements here. This modified brick here with the studs on the side is allowing us to hang these clips and tiles over our edge in order to add more icicles or any other pieces that we want to have hanging down. There are lots of different knot bricks or studs not on top that you can use in order to accessorize your roof line. Brackets come in many different shapes and sizes. Some of them hang down quite a lot, and some of them only hang down a little bit. It all depends on what kind of roof you're making or adding to, which determines the kind of Lego piece that you want to hang over the edge in order to show that it's gotten some snow on it. Since white is one of the most common colors of Lego parts produced, there are so many choices of rounded and smooth elements that you can use to create snow stuck on or against many different kinds of shapes in your Lego world. This is a really long version of this slope and can be great for hanging snow off the roof of a car or an overhang for a doorway, or even just piled up against the bottom edge of a house. These can make really awesome snow piles for if you have any kids at play in your Lego Winter Wonderland. It's a great start for creating a snowman scene. Just turn them until the open slots on the edge there align with your studs in a 4x4 pattern. Some of these inside angles can be really good for putting in the corner of a building, like an outside corner. And of course, different rounded slopes and round tiles can really accentuate your snow piles. Hey Yeti, what do you say we invite another guest onto the scene and check out some more cool snow and rooftop techniques? Sounds cool. Let's clear the area. Oh, wow! Welcome to Cookie Corner. You can see that for this build, I used some of those cloud minifigure base plates to show that the roof has snow piled up upon it. Attaching them using the headlight bricks facing this way, I was able to hang the clouds off over the back edge of the roof and pile them up upon each other for a really awesome technique. When working with the surface of your base plates, you can use the texture difference between tiles, grills, and plates in order to show that the ground has been walked or driven on. The height difference can imply that someone or something has compressed the snow in order to create tire tracks, footprints, or otherwise some sort of path through the snowfall. This can be really helpful in creating some realism in your scene and breaking up the texture of the basic base plate to give you a more natural setting. Of course, snow is not the only thing that comes around in wintertime. As we've seen here at Oregon ground level, we've already had some ice this year. A couple of freezing nights have frozen some of the water outside. And what's great about Lego is that all Lego water is already frozen solid. So if you find pieces that inspire you to have a frozen fountain or a frozen lake or frozen magic, you can find a variety of awesome ice-colored elements throughout the LEGO universe that can inspire you to create an even slicker and more frosty scene. Some of the coolest ice elements are definitely these wall panel rock face pieces in these cool icy colors. I especially love them because you can place them in front of minifigures, rendering them trapped in a block of ice. A very fitting encapsulation for something like our Yeti friend, who would actually probably find that quite comforting. Awesome! Well, thank you so much for joining me here in the BRIX LEGO studio again today, learning how to winterize our LEGO Wonderlands. Hopefully some of the cool tips and tricks that we covered today can really bring some excitement to your LEGO city in this special time of year. Until next time, hit those bricks, play well, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye!